Everyone's got a little quirk that really brings out their uniqueness, be it the color of their eyes or the way they pronounce a certain word. But sometimes these quirks are a little more unique than anyone expects. Today, we'll be taking a look at some of the rarest body features you could see in a person. You might be surprised that you might have some of these features too. But before we get ahead of ourselves, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for future content. This is Tenzone. Number 10. A hole near the ear. While this isn't the most amazing or even the most noticeable rare body feature to have, it is nonetheless an extremely rare one. Preauricular pits are essentially small holes found right in front of the ear and above the ear canal, forming a tract that runs under the skin. This sadly serves no purpose and are even prone to cysts and infections that could cause complications. Although it has been theorized that this tract is the remnants of what was once the gills on our missing link from water to land, so that may be something to brag about if someone ever asks. And if they do, just tell them that Aquaman is your uncle. Number 9. Audi belly buttons. Don't go pulling your shirt up to try and compare belly buttons just yet, since this is another rare body feature after all. You might not meet anyone with an Audi anytime soon. Much like the holes near your ear, these don't really make a big difference in your day-to-day life and are even considered by some to be more hygienic since you don't have to keep cleaning it. There are safe operations you can undergo to go from an Audi to an innie if you're hesitating to show off that midriff. Number 8. Double row eyelashes. Perfect for people who want lush, layered eyelashes that don't want to waste too much money on expensive false lashes. Double row eyelashes is a condition where an extra eyelash grows under the duct of the eyelash gland. Before you get jealous of these people with pretty lashes though, having this extra row means that the eyelashes actually grow on the spot where an oil gland should be, which causes irritation, tearing up, and even impact a person's vision negatively. There is always a price to pay for beauty. Number 7. Red hair. You know what kind of red hair we're talking about. This specific gene is recessive, and if we're to compare it to anything, it would be the 2 of clubs, easily beaten by any other gene in the pool. Then why, you ask? Does it seem like red-haired people are a dime a dozen in most Western countries? Well, the easy answer to that would be hair dye. But a deeper example of this is how red hair is shown a lot in advertisements and on TV, which feeds into the number of people dyeing their hair red. All of this together is the reason that red hair doesn't really look like the rare feature that it is. Number 6. An extra rib. This feature is interesting because in addition to being rare, it also has the chance of practically going undetected for your entire life. Most people have 12 sets of ribs, for a grand total of 24, but some people have a 25th rib that grows above the first rib near the neck called a cervical rib. Only 1 in 200 people have this, and like we said earlier, the rib may not even be noticeable since it doesn't always form completely and just ends up being a thin strand of tissue fibers that were supposed to be an extra rib. So what happens when it does form? Nothing much, since it doesn't pierce anything, but it can place some pressure on nerves and blood vessels, causing a little pain. Don't worry though, since it's easily treated. Number 5. Gray eyes. You'll have to keep an eye peeled for this rare body feature, since it's easy to miss and so little people have it. In fact, the only eye color closer than this are the red and purple eyes that come as a result of albinism, which is a rare condition in and of itself, caused by a lack of melanin in the front layer of the iris. Less than 1% of the population have this eye color. Of course, nowadays you can have a colored contact lens put in to give yourself gray eyes. But if you want to see them in the wild, your best bet is going to Eastern and Southern Europe and looking for natural redheads, since they're the most likely to have that specific condition. Number 4. Super color vision. One of the closest things we could possibly have to a superpower is an incredibly heightened sensitivity to color. How our eyes usually work is that we have 3 cones that capture different kinds of light and communicate what they are to the brain. But in some cases, people have found to have 4 cones. These people, called tetrachromats, are actually able to see 100 million different colors, whereas normal humans can only perceive 10 million. Interestingly enough, it's a trait that's only been found in women so far, and may be unique to them, and there isn't a destructive side effect to having this condition, except for a mild inconvenience from seeing too many colors at once, like in a supermarket. Number 3. Super tasting. Another one to the list of not really superpowers, but are still really cool to have, is an extremely heightened sense of taste. This is brought about by larger, more visible taste buds on the tongue, which just means they're more sensitive to one or all kinds of tastes. Super tasters are also known to have more pain receptors on their tongue than normal, and therefore tend to stay away from spicy foods. Those with a heightened sense of taste for bitter or sweet foods may also abstain from eating vegetables or sugary foods too much. They're generally known to live healthier though, since their senses of taste also lend to bitterness of tobacco and alcohol. Number 2. Unbreakable bones. Okay, they're not exactly unbreakable, but their sturdiness actually does put them in the realm of being a practical superpower. People with this condition have extraordinarily dense bones that can withstand a lot of impact and almost never fracture, meaning they can take a beating better than anyone else in the world. They do have a harder time staying afloat on water, but that's not to say they can't swim. There's also the benefit of never having to worry about their calcium intake or the risk of developing osteoporosis. Number 1. Golden blood. There exists a type of blood in the world called AB negative. It's so rare that less than 1% of the population of the Earth has it. This means that when carriers of this blood need a transplant or transfusion, donors are essential. But that's not even the rarest type out there. There's something called RUNO, where the blood has no Rh antigens that would otherwise classify it into the regular blood types of A, B, AB, and O. Forget less than 1% of the world having this. There are only an estimated 43 people in the entire world carrying this blood. What makes it even more valuable is that their blood is considered a universal donor to those rare blood types like AB negative, so a bag of their blood is practically worth its weight in gold. Do you have any rare body features you want to share with us? Maybe an extra toe or thumb, or maybe actual gills? Let us know in the comments section below. And as always, thumbs up, share, subscribe, and notification bell for future videos. Until next time.